1. Welcome everybody to the Corporate Services Committee for November 23rd, 2021. The attendees are John Lainers, myself, Gladys Blackmore, and Mayor Clayton. To start off with, we have no delegations inquired before, but we do have 5 reports, and we can start off with the Director Services Area Report, Kinza Trim. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Chair O'Toole. So I'll start off with our finance department. Our auditors have completed the interim audit and the final year-end fieldwork for the year ending December 31st, 2021 will be completed by the auditors in March of 2022. In ITS, the deadline for our taxation system RFP has been extended to accommodate a request for submission. So now that will close on November 29th. In asset management, the city's first State of Infrastructure report will be circulated to Council later this week for your review prior to our budget deliberations next week. In legislative services, the deadline to apply for a public member appointment has been extended to November 30th for the Combative Sports Commission, the Community Advisory Committee, the CKC Advisory Committee, and the Subdivision and Development Appeal Board. Anyone interested in becoming a member can reach out to legislative services or apply online through the city's website. And also in legislative services, in support of the committee's bylaw and policy review mandate, Legislative Services is preparing to bring forward a number of bylaws and council policies for review next year. This will include the boards and committees bylaw, council code of conduct bylaw, and the submission and development appeal board bylaw, just to name a few. And that ends my update for this committee meeting, and I'm happy to take any questions.
All right. So was there any questions from committee or anyone else? I see none. Well, you got off the hook. Good report. Thank you. We'll move on to item report number 3.2, population and age report. This will be a verbal update. Mr. Bowman, go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. O'Toole. This verbal update is a proposed solution that was developed to address the request for more information from previous councils as it relates to the population statistics for the city of Grande Prairie. This item is on the outstanding item list for November. The proposed solution is also a result of the province moving to population estimates methodology based on federal census results that replaced municipal census as the source of information, which is used to provide provincial grant funding to municipalities. As part of this verbal update, I'm going to demonstrate our proposed solutions that we have developed in-house. Please let me know if you can see this.
I can see your screen, yep.
Yep, okay. This is active on the City of Grande Prairie's website as you see it today. So to access this, any resident, council member, member of the community can go to the City of Grande Prairie's website. They navigate through the City of Grande Prairie's website to the service catalog, and in the service catalog you will find 2 applications that we developed to address this issue. One is the current population, and the other is population by neighborhood. The current population is a mobile dashboard, as you can see here. The statistics that are offered in this application are offered by a third-party data mining organization that is used as part of our in-house GIS system, the Esri product. And I'm not going to go through everything. We'd be here quite a long time, but just to demonstrate, this is the latest projected statistics through this third-party data miner that we do have information for. We've taken this to the neighborhood level. As you can clearly see, this is at the neighborhood level. It gives the name of the neighborhood, the change in the population, age and statistics information down below. The information that you see in these applications that we are presenting, you cannot download this information directly, as that would be a violation of our license agreement with these third-party vendors that we're utilizing. So this is the one that's for the latest statistics census that we have. We also, to address concerns around historical data, we also developed the population by neighborhood web version of this. The mobile version, like I said, only contains the latest and greatest. This web app viewer has not only the Environics data set that I just displayed in the previous one, but it also has the data sets that are supplied by the Alberta government, our previous municipal census stats, our historical stats, and in the future we will also have StatsCan data entered as well. And to give you a demonstration of the information that you can get here, it's quite easy to use. You just turn on the layer sets that you want. You can see the data that is offered in those data sets per neighborhood. And the source of the information as well will take you to, in this case, to the city clerk's office, or to further look at the Alberta government's data set as it relates to them. It will take you to the Alberta government website. So this is the historical information that you can find. We will continue to develop this as we move forward. But in order to meet the request for more information in November, this is the application that we've developed thus far. Do we have any questions as it relates to this?
Well, I'm very impressed with this this app that you got. I think it would be great for real estate agents and as well as us councillors, as well as anybody moving to Grande Prairie. So thank you for doing that. I have two people in queue, Mayor Clayton and Councillor Bressey.
Thank you, Chair O'Toole. Yeah, just echoing your comments. Thank you to the GIS department for this very detailed option. I think that on many levels, this is much more information than we've received in the past. I know there was a significant amount of debate around whether or not we should change our methodology, and this to me just shows what is possible in-house. So thank you for that updated opportunity. And as Chair O'Toole mentioned, it'll be very useful information for community members, for economic development, future investors. You know, the list goes on. So thank you for your work.
Councillor Bressey.
Great. Thank you, Chair O'Toole, and thank you, Mr. Bowman, and your staff. Definitely some really good information done at a lot more cost-effective manner than our past ways of doing it. So appreciate seeing it. In terms of capturing historical data going forward, what's the intention for the amount of time you do between snapshots? So the idea be that you'd capture a once-a-year snapshot, a once every couple year snapshot. I guess what I'm asking is, if I want to look at this data in 2030, how many years would I be able to look back?
Through the chair, you'll be able to, we're going to capture and populate the data moving forward. So if you looked at it in 2040, you're going to see the same data sets you're going to see today, minus, of course, the municipal census statistics, which will no longer be captured. So the historical data will still live there. Environics data sets, they're updated annually, as is our understanding the government of Alberta is annually as well. The StatsCan data that we will receive is updated once every 5 years. And as indicated, we will publish that information moving forward.
Sorry, if I may.
Go ahead.
So I guess what I'm asking is, if I was to use this tool in 2025, would there be, for the Environics data, would there be a 2021 data set I could populate, or a 2022 data set, a 2023, or would there just be a, if I'm looking again at this in 2025, would there just be a 2025 Environics data set that I could look at?
Through the chair, no, the proposed direction that we will take is we're going to populate annually the data sets from Environics. So you will see 2016, 2020, 2025, 18, 17. We're going to continue to publish those data sets, and they will be available historically. So if you look at this in 2030, you're going to see the same Environics population by age and sex data sets for 2016.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, it definitely meets what I was hoping we'd see out of this. So I really appreciate the work you and your staff did on this.
Okay, we have one more question. Gladys Blackmore, go ahead.
Mr. Bowman, you mentioned that we're waiting for StatsCan information, and that's usually running about 5 years behind. So we're looking for what, 2016 data from them? 2017?
Through the chair. We actually have some historical StatsCan data that we're going to publish into this application moving forward. We just didn't have it available today. The staff are working on repurposing that data set. So we've had it available in the past with our previous legacy GIS system. But to move it into this environment, there was some data manipulation that needed to be done. So we do have some historical StatsCan data, and you will see it in the application in the near future.
Okay, thanks. That was actually the question I was trying to ask. So thanks for interpreting that.
Council members are a different crew here, so thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Bowman? I see none. So thank you very much for that report. I think you've satisfied a lot of council members today with this program. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
You bet. We'll move on to item 3.3, the 2022 Business Improvement Area Budget Review. And with that, we have Mr. Scott Smith.
Thank you, Chair O'Toole.
No, I need to leave.
So before you today, there are two recommendations regarding the 2022 Business Improvement Area Budget. So the BIA is better known for the new council members as the Downtown Association. So the first recommendation will set the day council will vote on the Downtown Association's budget. The second recommendation will then direct administration to notify the businesses within the Downtown Association boundaries of the date that council will discuss the budget. We will also provide the businesses a copy of the proposed budget, and we'll also notify the businesses of the date of the Downtown Association's annual general meeting, which will occur on February 23rd of 2022. Just for your information, the Downtown Association's budget, it remains unchanged from the 2021 budget of $302,507. And that budget, I believe, is attached to the end of this report. I believe that is all. So with that, I could take any questions.
Okay. I don't see anybody jumping up and down. We did have two councillors leave the room, Wendy Bosch and Chris Thiessen, and I think that has something to do with their committee appointments. All right. I have no other questions here. So this is kind of a routine thing. We do it every year, and thank you for acknowledging the fact that we'll be doing again next year.
Do you want me to make the motion?
Yeah. Looking for a motion, so go ahead.
Okay, I move that council recommend, I move the committee recommend to council that we review and approve the 2022 Business Improvement Area Budget in council chambers Monday, March 7th, 2022 at 3 p.m. as presented.
Okay. That motion is in order. And waiting for it to come up on the screen. And John, did you get your motion there?
I did. I think I voted already.
Okay, perfect. Just double checking here. Yeah, that carried unanimously. Do the other one too. We have one more motion.
And I move that council that the committee direct administration to notify the businesses within the business improvement area of the above date by letter accompanied by a copy of the proposed 2022 Business Improvement Association budget, area budget.
Go ahead, Mr. Clayton.
If we could just have a friendly amendment that it be committee recommend council direct administration.
Yes,
Thank you.
that's what I meant.
All right. That motion's in order with the friendly amendment, and go ahead and we're ready to vote. Okay, it should pop up on your screen. And that carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. And we'll move on with the delegation, or the rest. We have item 3.4, the budget update, and that'll be verbal, so looking for Mr. Whiteway.
Thank
There
you,
you are, you're on the
Carol.
screen.
I am. So just a quick update for committee. Next week, council is meeting to deliberate on the 2022 to 2025 operating budget, as well as the 2022 to 2026 capital budget. So December 2nd and 3rd next week have been set aside for deliberations. Back in May of this year, council directed administration to bring forward a budget for 2022 that did incorporate projected inflation. The direction was that the 2022 operating budget have a tax rate change within 1.4 to 2.4%. Administration will be proposing a 1.55% tax change for 2022, which is a requirement of an additional tax equal to around 1.88 million. We will also present options to achieve a lower tax target of 0.98%, with the proposal to eliminate some capital projects. The total capital being proposed for 2022 is approximately 48.4 million. It includes road rehabilitation, energy projects, upgrades to facilities, and more. Budget books have been provided to all members of council for review with details on operating and capital plans. The same information will be made public when the agenda for deliberations is published by the end of the week. Thank you.
Excellent. Once again, just asking any questions for anybody on council. I see none. You're getting the nod of approval there, Ms. Whiteway. And we'll move on to your next item, which is 3.5, unaudited financial statements and supporting information for the quarter ending September 30th, 2021.
Thank you, Chair O'Toole. So the recommendation is that committee receive the unaudited financial statements and supporting information for the quarter ending September 30th, 2021. I respectfully assume you've all reviewed the report and the attachment, and I'll just highlight a few items. So walking through, we look at first the statement of financial position. This is on page 3 of the appendix. You'll note that the city's cash and equivalents balance at September 30th is significantly higher than the year-end balance. This is a result of property tax deadline being August 31st. Administration regularly reviews the cash balance and makes long-term projections to ensure there is sufficient cash available to cover projected costs. We also work closely with our investment providers to ensure that any excess cash balances are being held in an investment that will provide the greatest rate of return available on the market. When we look at accounts receivable, it is higher than this time last year. In the current year, we did receive additional ICIP funding. It also includes gas tax funding, as well as some MSI funding that's not yet been received. We'll note that accounts payable balances remain higher than normal, with significant contractual payments related to the 2021 capital plan. Long-term debt continues to decline with regular repayments on balances owing. Planned borrowings related to the 2021 capital plan will occur later in the fiscal year. As of September 30th, 2021, the city is well within the legal debt limits required by the Municipal Government Act. Moving on to the statement of operations, beginning on page 4, revenue collected as of September 30th, 2021 is slightly higher when compared to the same point last year. Taxes were held at 0% for 2021, but normal growth in the tax base contributed to slight growth in taxation revenue. The surplus that you see on the statement of operations will reduce significantly over the remaining quarter of the year as expenditures occur on an even basis throughout the year, whereas revenue is largely all recognized in June with the property tax levy. On page 5 are the operating variances. Operating variances result from differences between the approved budget and actual financial results. For the quarter ending September 30th, 2021, we are anticipating a surplus by the end of the year of just over $4 million. This equates to approximately 2.28% of the total city operating budget. COVID-19 has had a significant impact on city operations. As a result, many departments are anticipating some one-time cost savings. As the budget is created based on normal operations, but the city has not been able to operate all year under normal conditions, it has caused and is expected to continue to cause potential variances from budget. At this point in the year, all service areas, except for fiscal services, is expecting to see a surplus. Moving on to page 6, our salary variances. So included in our operating variance projection of the year-end surplus of $4 million are salary savings as a result of layoffs, reduced hours, hiring delays, redeployments, turnover, and vacancies. At September 30th, year-to-date salary savings are approximately $6.6 million, while we anticipate by year-end that this could grow to almost $9 million. Forecasted salary savings are reduced by lost revenues throughout many departments, which is netting to the overall surplus position. On page 7, we have a highlight of our reserve balances. The net change to reserve balances was a decrease of $11 million from December 30th, 2020. This is a result of a new fiscal year and the required funding to the capital and operating plan. The city's ending reserve balance at September 30th is $92.2 million. Capital is summarized on pages 8 and 9. At the beginning of 2021, the city had $54 million of capital funds available and assigned to approved projects, and $85 million of new projects were added based on the 2021 capital plan. To date, $45.5 has been expended. Many capital projects the city undertakes are grant funded, and as of September 30th, there is $93 million in active capital projects, with 35.6 of these funded by grants. The remainder is from capital tax, reserves, or debenture. Lastly, I'll touch on procurement activity. During the third quarter of 2021, 8 tenders were awarded over $250,000 for municipal capital and operating projects. Few of these projects were from federal and provincial stimulus funding, such as the South Bear Creek Ball Diamond expansion, Mountain View Stormwater Management second phase, Animal Pound building renovations, and the mobile skate park. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. I'm just looking around to see if there's any questions, and we do have one in the queue. Councillor Blackmore.
Yes. Can you tell me what the cost of living was for when this budget was created compared to what it is right now? Like, how much did that change, the projection versus the reality?
Through the chair. I unfortunately don't have on hand the projected inflation for 2021 at the time the budget was deliberated on. However, I know at this point, 3.3% is what's being kind of projected as the potential inflation rate for 2021 at this time, pardon me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask one more time, is there any other questions for Ms. Whiteway? I see none, so thank you very much for being here today. Even though it's through Zoom, it's still a lot of information there. So we'll move on to We have no correspondence and we have no, we'll need a motion to accept that report. Looking for someone from council. Ms. Blackmore.
I would move that the committee receive the unaudited financial statements and supporting information for the quarter ending September 30th, 2021.
Should be up on your screens now. Cast your vote. And that carries unanimously. Thank you. So, like I said, no correspondence, no other business. We have no bylaw or policy review, but we do have an outstanding items list. And with that, we have one item. Councillor Clayton, or Mayor Clayton?
Thanks, Chair O'Toole. I would move that committee approve the corporate services outstanding items list with the removal of 1164. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll call for the vote on that. And that carries unanimously. Thank you very much. And with that, I will call it adjourn. And the next item next meeting will be the Infrastructure and Economic Development Committee, and give us 5 minutes to get things changed around here.